Guru Prakash Paswan, they weren't expected to do seat adjustments in this meeting. Given that the NDA said and the BJP said, inse kuch nahi hoga, at least they've come up with a name. The name is catchy and they're going with some kind of a perspective which ultimately the voters will decide on. But to the extent that they could, they've shown that they're beginning to come together. Is that something which concerns you?
Rahul, I don't think why is there an element of surprise today, especially in a section of media. It's an old wine in a new bottle. Like all of us, you senior journalists on this panel would remember that senior leader of the Congress party, Devkant Barua, has used a similar adage. He said, Indra is India, India is Indra. So the Congress party have never thought twice before using the name of India as a tool for political leverage. This is not for the first time that the Congress party is trying to take political advantage out of it. But we must understand here that the people who were sitting in the meeting, Lalu Yadav, whose daughter Misa Bharti, Lalu Yadav took a pran ki Misa, the act which was enacted during Emergency Maintenance of Internal Security Act, ki main Congress ko hara karke hi dam lunga. TMC, Mamata Banerjee, she has come out of the Congress party. Everyone, the only common thread that unites the opposition leader is corruption and family politics. Right from Jammu and Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, you see it is the father and son enterprise and nothing beyond that. This shows the poverty of imagination of the opposition parties. They have no solid agenda. What is their idea of India? Their idea of India is bereft of Dalits. While the Congress leadership was speaking on the stage in Bangalore, young protesters from Dalit community, they were protesting on the streets of Raipur in Chhattisgarh without any dress. They were protesting on the streets of Chhattisgarh. They are not talking about Rajasthan. Democracy is being murdered in Bihar. Democracy is being murdered in West Bengal. So the only common thread that is uniting the entire opposition is the lust for power. That is the only uniting common thread that was visible
now,
today.
Rahul Srivastava, you were in
Rahul.
Bengaluru, you tracked this meeting all the way through. What stood out for you as key highlights? What did you pick up the andar ki khabar which we haven't seen on the headlines so far? Did there seem to be some sense of bonhomie or was there a lot of bickering and distrust?
Rahul, I have seen coalition formations since 1989. And I think this is the first time there is a certain palpable feeling of threat, which I have not seen earlier, that the Narendra Modi factor has become so consuming for these political parties that they feel that despite their differences, their need to come together is really burning right now. So much so, when do you recall, Rahul, in the last several years, Mamata Banerjee mentioning Sitaram Yechuri and D. Raja, CPM and CPI. Last few years, every time she mentions their names is to attack them politically. She did mention, that's a step back. Now it may not sound like something very big. I spoke to Sitaram Yechuri after the meeting and he said something very interesting, Rahul. He said that these alliances and seat sharing and other arrangements will be discussed at the state level. Means each state can come up with, it will be a national picture, but each state coordination unit will come up with its own combination. So I asked him about Bengal. So he very clearly said in Bengal it is going to be a TMC versus the BJP versus the Congress and the left alliance. So I said, then where is the alliance? So he said something yet more interesting. He said the idea would be to minimize the conflict, minimize the contest between the participating players as far as this 26-party alliance is concerned. What it really means that each player in its own area of influence is going to take on to the BJP. If there is no contest between the other constituents, then that person takes on the BJP. So in Bengal, a divided house. In UP, perhaps Akhilesh Yadav gets some bit of advantage with Congress and others helping him. But the real challenge, Rahul, what I found in this is that a lot of leaders are discussing Congress. What they are talking about, that out of the 330 seats in North and Northwest India, NDA won 298, BJP won 255, and barring UP and a couple of states, Congress is the main rival. So eventually the Congress has to come up. The Congress to pull it up, puts up It may have moved a little more to the pivot of being the pivot of this grand alliance. But the problem here is that all these parties, when they come, they may not be able to help the Congress as much as the Congress can actually help them. I think it's going to be a very difficult alliance to...
So what happens next, Rahul? When are they planning to meet? Where will that meeting be held? Will they try and appoint a convener? How are they thinking about having a common minimum program, or do they just keep it fluid?
Yes, Rahul, quick answers to all of them. One, this alliance, interestingly, the initial proposal was not India, it was We for India, which eventually it seems that it came from the Rahul Gandhi's back team. It has come up with the idea and it was pushed here and everybody took it. Second, the next meeting is in Bombay, the date is to be fixed. Mumbai, the date is yet to be fixed. There is going to be no prime ministerial face. Most of the participants I spoke to off record, and Sitaram Yechuri and D. Raja on record have said there is going to be no face, it's going to be a collective effort. A convener is in the works, they will have to decide who it will be, but they don't want to rush it in because there could well be problems. They want to gauge who's feeling what. And there are going to be state level coordination meetings very soon. They are going to have people who will lead them, and each state will start having meetings for campaign, for seat sharing and all those follow-ups. So one little step forward taken, a big giant leap for hope for the opposition parties. But yes, I think a lot of task needs to be done.